What's up, YouTube? It's CS back here with another installment, and here are my picks for Strikeforce Diaz versus Daly. Alright, guys, now Strikeforce has himself a hell of a card here. This will be the first card that they're going to put out under new ownership of Zuffa. Don't expect anything different. Like Dana White said, Scott Coker's still in control, and he's, going to run everything accordingly, regardless of Zuffa owning them or not. It's just business as usual. Zuffa just bought them to make a piece of whatever they're getting until they feel like canning them after the Showtime deal. But yeah, that's for a different story. It's a different topic. Let's talk about what's going to go down April 9th for Strikeforce Diaz versus Daly. Of course, the headliner in the main event with Nick Diaz and Paul Daly going for Nick Diaz's welterweight championship. That's going to be a hell of a fight. Of course, we have a good co-main event with another Caesar Gracie product in Gilbert Melendez. He's putting up his lightweight title against Tatsuya Kawajiri, one of my favorites. We also have Gegard Mousasi versus Mike Kyle at light heavyweight. That's going to be a barn burner. And then we got this fight to talk about. Let's talk about right now. First fight on the main card between Shinya Aoki and Lyle Beerbohm in lightweight. All right, guys, taking a look at this bout. Looks fun. On one side, you got Shinya Aoki, very talented submission grappler, probably the best at 155 in submission grappling. And then that's about all there is to him. He is the definition of a one-dimensional fighter. Like when you fight him, it's like, I don't know, fighting most Gracies. You know what I mean? So just expect a grappling match most likely if you see Shinyaki fighting, unless he has a skill set like Lyle Beerbohm. Lyle Beerbohm, if he's smart, he would use his wrestling and striking to just beat Shinya there. Use his wrestling to determine where this fight goes. Obviously, maintain that shit on the feet and just beat him there. Do I think Beerbohm is going to do it though? No. I think he does have good ground skills, and for the most part, he did survive with Pat Healy. Although Pat Healy did have him in some bad predicaments. Thing is, I just think Lyle Beerbaum is going to go into wrestling mode here and just look to be the dominant one and take this thing to the ground. Because of that, I see Shinya Aoki submitting him, and yeah, I think it's going to happen late round one. I just think that he might get overzealous and go for the takedown. I think that's where Shinya Aoki will capitalize with a submission of his own. And sure, Pat Healy couldn't submit Beer Bomb, but once Shinya hangs on to something, he ain't letting go. And yeah, because of that, I have to pick him by, I'm going to say first round triangle. Next up, we got Gegard, Mousasi, Mike Kyle at light heavyweight. Now let's take a look at Mike Kyle. Very strong 205er. Um, Hits like a dump truck. You know what I'm saying? His Muay Thai is kind of nasty. Very good punches, very powerful kicks. He has knockout power in both hands, so expect him to swing for fences in this fight. I'm pretty sure he knows he's not the more technical striker, and because of that, expect him to wing a lot of his punches. And I think this is going to go into Gegard's favor because he's going to be slipping by those punches and being the speedster that Gegard Mousasi is. He's going to work angles really well and look to tee off on what I think will be a relatively flat-footed Mike Kyle. I think Gegard's going to get best the stand-up, being the quicker of the two, like I said, and because of that, he's going to beat Mike Kyle to the punch. This so happens to get into the clinch. Sure, Mike Kyle can use his size and strength to overwhelm Gegard with some sort of strikes there, but I can also see Gegard bringing that to the ground and submitting Mike Kyle there, where he's worlds better than Mike Kyle in terms of grappling. But for the most part, I think this is going to stay standing. I think Gegard's going to avoid the power punches of Mike Kyle or eat them really well or not take a lot of them. And I think he's going to work more of his own magic and just be the more technical striker and beat a very game Mike Kyle. Mike Kyle has been looking pretty sharp as of late. Of course, he almost knocked out Antonio Silva. Ultimately, he lost that fight. Showed a lot of resiliency, though, but I just think Gegard's too skilled to drop this fight. And for that, I'm going to say he punches and kicks his way to a unanimous decision. And yeah, I just think he beats Mike Kyle to the punch with his speed. So I got Gegard Mousasi, UD. All right, folks. Next up, we got the co-main event, which is the first title fight of the night. It's for the Strikeforce lightweight title between the champion Gilbert Melendez and one of my favorites, Tatsuya Kawajiri. I really want Kawajiri to win this fight. I just don't see how he does it. Gilbert is like impossible to finish. He has very good submission defense, being a Caesar Gracie product, and he has a darn good chin. And you're gonna need a dump truck to knock him out. Does Kawajiri have the stuff to knock him out? Yes, but I just think he's going to get tired because one punch is not going to put Gilbert Melendez away. And if this thing stays on the feet, I see Gilbert being the quicker of the two and working angles better than Kawajiri. Although Kawajiri is a pretty sound kickboxer, I just think Kawajiri is going to be relatively flat-footed, and I think Gilbert's going to take advantage of that. If Kawajiri does land a power shot and somehow rock Gilbert, I think Gilbert is just going to absorb that shit and lose that round and then win the next one and the next one and the next one. I don't think I can see Kawajiri winning any round past round two, to be honest. I think that's when Gilbert will turn it on. He's used to fighting 5-round fights. Not only that, he's used to fighting in a cage, something Kawajiri's never fought in ever. So I think that's going to pay dividends for Gilbert Melendez. I can easily see him drop round one or two, but I can't see him getting finished. I can see him getting taken down and controlled for a round or two early, but that's about it. Like I hate to say it, but I think Gilbert's going to work his magic, especially rounds 3 on. So I really expect him to be a big favorite in this fight and win the fight via unanimous decision. I just think he's going to sprawl and work angles and punch his way to victory. So I got Gilbert Melendez via unanimous decision. Alrighty, guys. Now moving on, we got the main event concerning another Cesar Gracie product in Nick Diaz. He's putting up his Strikeforce Welterweight Championship of the world against Paul Daly, the challenger. Very exciting fighter, very exciting kickboxer, boxer. These guys should throw on a show. That's all I gotta say. Paul Daly has one thing in mind, and that's to knock your head off and win the fight via TKO or KO. Every time this guy throws a leg kick, he's trying to knock you off your feet. Every time he throws a punch, he's trying to knock your head off. So he's very dangerous in that sense, but he's just a one-dimensional fighter. And he doesn't exactly stay on his feet well. You can out wrestle this guy, even if you're Nick Diaz, who has no wrestling. I can see this thing getting into the clinch and Nick Diaz bringing him down via a leg trip. You know what I'm saying? So Paul Daly better keep this thing in distanced. Although if he does that, he's not out of deep water yet because Nick Diaz has a very good boxing game too. He utilizes the jab really well, and especially he uses angles really well. He throws a lot of different punches. He might be going to your head 1 second and then to the body. Nick Diaz will keep you guessing on the feet. He's always constantly moving too. So, it's gonna be hard for Paul Daly to cut him off with one of those big hooks. You know what I mean? So I think that for the most part, Daly will have some success with Nick Diaz early on. But I think cardio issues will get the better of him, and I think that's where Nick Diaz will turn it on in, say, the round 3. And that's where Nick Diaz will eventually just tee off on Paul Daly. And I just see that Nick Diaz will eventually get this thing into the clinch and work to bring Paul Daly down to the ground via a leg trip. And that's where I think he grabs Paul Daly's back and works for a rear naked choke. So that's my pick. Paul Daly by, Nick Diaz via third round rear naked choke. Paul Daly in his last few bouts, to me, hasn't looked all too impressive. He did go into decision with Masvidal, which shouldn't have happened. Masvidal was not the best wrestler, and he was able to take down Paul Daly and stuff, and he was avoiding big shots from Paul Daly for the most part. And then when Paul Daly had him rocked in round 3, he couldn't finish him. And to me, that's quite a travesty, considering the fact that, Jorge Masvidal is basically a lightweight. He fights there mostly, and for him to come up and fight Paul Daly and survive, I think that was pretty surprising. I just think Nick Diaz has a very good chin and has a very good shot winning once Paul Daly gasses. So, that's just what I think is going to go down. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm still kind of split on this, but I just think Nick Diaz is a better mixed martial artist, and because of that, I have to pick him by submission. Rear naked choke round 3. Alright guys, now that about does it for my picks for Strikeforce Diaz versus Daly. I hope you guys enjoy the card. Okay, if you're going to order a Strikeforce card anytime soon, order this one. And probably order the next one too with Overeem. That should be pretty fun. But yeah, this one looks really exciting. I hope you guys enjoy it. I know I will. If you need a stream, just hit me up. I'll probably have one. But yeah, definitely enjoy this card. You guys are in for a treat. And yeah, I'm going to hype it. Don't hate me if it ends up sucking. I'm sorry. But I can't see this not suck. That's just what I think. But again, enjoy the card. and subscribe if you like what you see. But yes, before I do go, I do have an announcement. I just like I want to say thank you to everyone who has supported me over the past year and a half. Yes, I have been partnered. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are amazing. I really appreciate all the support and me getting partnered by Google and YouTube. Thanks to them too. Wouldn't be, it wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for you guys. So, like again, I'm really extremely grateful for all the support you guys have given me, all the comments, all the subscriptions, all the likes. You guys are amazing. So, thanks for all of that. And because of you guys, I'm able to generate revenue through something I love. So I really appreciate that. And yeah, that about does it for me. Yeah, just April 9th. Stay tuned for Strikeforce Diaz versus Daly. And yeah, I'm sure you'll hear from me before then. But until then, take care. Thank you guys, and subscribe if you like what you see. Peace.